What's up, everybody? How you doing, Chris? Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, buddy?
Look at you, already ready to go and everything.
No, I'm ready to drink with a buddy. That's all I'm ready to
do. All right. So I see Josh is here. I see Chris is here. Well, you got some characters. This is what I'm having tonight.
Oh, very nice. Batch 9, 8.
Yep, batch 9. I cracked it today. Pretty excited about it, actually. It's a pretty high proof on it. It's no joke, man. It's got some real flavor to it. So I'm super happy with it already. And I've only had one glass bottled with throttle, so I'm going to go for the second one tonight, see what it's like.
You know what? I bet you deserve it. I bet you've earned it.
I'd like to think so.
Nice.
So what do you got in your glass right now? Pre-game?
So listen, this is a very first world problem, but I needed an extra empty bottle to dump out what we're going to dump out into it. So I had to kill the Blantons that I had. So I had an extra bottle. I know. It's a really rough life, man. It's a rough life.
It's too bad we can't get audio in here for everybody to all say "aw" at the same time.
I know. I know they feel bad for me. They're sending me their thoughts and prayers right now. I'm convinced.
Definitely a thoughts and prayers moment. All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna pour a glass of this because I'm not gonna have what you're having tonight. So I'm gonna have a little of this. So I'm gonna go with a pretty healthy pour.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I owe you the first cheers of the night.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. Yep, I can handle that.
This does not disappoint.
No, I had batch 8 at a restaurant. I was out with a vendor, and they were like, there's a good whiskey bar in Atlanta, and they said, just pick something you haven't had before, and this big whiskey library was there. So batch 8 was there, completely blown away by how good it was. Really, really tasty stuff.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of batch 8 myself. The 9's pretty good. I think I'm gonna have to do a side-by-side at one of these points.
Ooh.
Just to give it a kind of a comparison. It's going to be tough because it's a higher proof.
Yeah.
But that batch 8 was pretty solid, man. I have no complaints about it.
Yep.
So who knows? Some nights you're in the mood for a really high proof. Sometimes just a good size proof.
Well, would you happen to be in the mood for an 86 proofer by chance?
Yeah.
I happen to have 2 of them.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
I want you to know, I think I mentioned last time I've got 2 kids. Both births of my kids, I was relatively nervous. One was a first-time dad. The second one, I was ready to have my boy, my son. This is somewhere in there, in that mix as far as nerves are concerned. I don't know exactly where on the list they'll find themselves. But so I've got, as far as supplies go for decanting, empty Old Forester rye, which I know you're a fan of.
Yep. I've killed a couple of bottles already myself. Yep.
Yep. And then, like I said, I had to finish this. Now, I'm going to think positive, happy thoughts and think that a cork is not going to fall in. But in the chance that it does,
I'm
ready. Okay. And then, of course, my handy dandy. Let's see how much is actually out of here.
Oh, this is going to be something.
Yeah.
Man, I'm. So you don't even know if this is going to come out okay or not.
I don't, which is why I'm going to do it live, right? Because
let's capture the excitement or disappointment, right?
We find out together. The craziest thing about this is, and I'll put these on here so people know what we're talking about. Okay, that's number 1. Here's number 2. Okay, but these were definitely the cream of the crop of the decanter haul that I alluded to last time. The most ridiculous thing is that when you're in these older decanter, circles, you see these and you fawn over them. The books that I found, these collectors' books about decanters, the nicest decanter you could think of was not an Old Fitz or an Old Rip. They were like $75, and it was like ski country scenery, distilleries that are way gone, juice that nobody would ever drink on the worst dare. Because the rule of thumb, not that I'm explaining anything to you, you don't know, but the rule of thumb is the crappier the whiskey, the better the decanter. That's the rule of thumb, right? Because the distilleries had to do something to
lipstick on a pig, right?
Tell you what, my wife says about me. So that's the general rule of thumb. The crazier, the better the decanter is. Probably the shittier the whiskey is, more than likely. So that's a great rule of thumb. It does not apply to these. This was, I don't like saying juice, but it's juice that was distilled in 1968. Old Rip and Old Fitz they already had a 7-year-old product. They already were bottling at 86 proof. These are hefty, beefy boys for sure. These were minted for the bicentennial. So I hinted at it last time. Made for the 1976, the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So this one I can bring up to you closer now. This has Old Fitzgerald, American Sons of St. Patrick, all of the Irish influencers of our Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
All of the Irish signers, from around that time. Andrew Jackson, the first Irish president. John Barry, the father of the Navy. I mean, this, again, is checking so many boxes. For
so many. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So,
I hate to say this, but I was like Bourbon and Hart said, we hadn't even been to the moon yet when that was made. Like, that's crazy, right?
It is so crazy that that these were minted to be truthfully collectible. The bottoms say these are collectible decanters. They are actually, from what I understand, these were some of the few decanters made in the U.S. These weren't like Taiwanese, like you see a lot of these. These were made to be something that you'd have in your home for long periods of time. The proof of that is the gentleman I got these all from. He had these for 40 some odd years. Never ever thought about some schmucko coming to his condo on the beach
right.
to try and get them. And then here we are, sitting here on Instagram.
On the internet, right?
Never heard of.
Damn internet. Like
these rassive kids don't appreciate, but that's the cool thing. I do appreciate them. I do like what they're at. So that's the Old Fitz. And then the Old Rip Van Winkle one is also pretty cool. So, in case it doesn't come up, Collector's Limited Edition Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 86 proof. This whiskey is 7 years old, distilled by the Old Rip Van Winkle Distillery in Louisville, Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah. And this one is different. This is a series they did. I think they did one, not for every state. I have the books right behind me, but I'm incredibly lazy. And I probably should have looked at this beforehand. Just not my style. But this one's for New Jersey. So this is the Crossroads of the Revolution bicentennial. But again, 7-year-old whiskey, Stitzel Weller, minted to commemorate the bicentennial.
Damn.
Yeah. So here's a little scenic picture of how Washington won the Battle of Princeton, January 1977. It's so cool, man. It's just so freaking cool.
It's pretty freaking beautiful. Like, here's the crazy thing. Like, I want to hit on this because these are sealed bottles. What's inside is what was put inside. And you talk about decanters and stuff, and it's like I have a few bottles that, when I finish them, like I'll refill them with something else, right? Whether it's olive oil, balsamic, whatever, or in the case of certain things, like I'll just keep filling it with stuff I got. Like ultimately, I have a double oak 3-year of Kentucky Peerless that's signed by Corky Taylor.
Oh man.
So I plan on drinking that. That's not going to be something I don't open, right?
Yeah.
And what it's going to become is just a decanter for any of the ryes that I buy from them going forward, right? Like that's just going to be my cool little decanter. And it won't have 3-year anymore in it, but I don't care.
Right.
The decanter is what matters.
True.
You talk about like these decanters were things were supposed to stay in your home. Well, they weren't supposed to stay sealed per se, but these are refillable because they're decorative and they're beautiful. Like, people during that time used to collect plates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't get it, but hey, that's their thing. And these are really like cool keepsakes. And, you know what? If you run out of McKenna and you never put any, if you never have any of that old McKenna in there, new McKenna is not, if you get a 10-year single barrel, drop it in there.
Yeah.
Just to say that it was in there for a minute,
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool.
This stuff is from a time when, again, most decanters were just to get the regular bottles off the shelf. And when you bought these back then, I can check the book, but I think one of these was like $25, and then the other one was like $65. So if you were really a collector, you would have to be only a collector to buy these, because the regular whiskey wouldn't be worth half of that. The regular cheap whiskey back then, the Wild Turkey decanters that I have behind me, in the book, it says those were like $29 back then. And there was a series of 6. Regular Wild Turkey 8101 was $9, $10. So you had to have the right crowd that wanted these decanters, because most likely, like I said last time, they dumped the whiskey out a lot of the time, just so fire hazard, just so their kids didn't get it, just so it wouldn't leak. There are so many reasons they were dumping this whiskey out. So to find these completely still intact, yeah, there's dust on them, totally adds to it. Totally adds to all of it, because it survived so much.
You're so lucky to have found one dude who happened to have these in multiples, right? Like definitely a series of these decanters that he hadn't opened.
Yep.
Part of me is like, as much as I'm super happy for you because you got it, right? And you're going to actually get to try this. Like, there's a part of me that's sad about it, because like, I think about all the stuff that, people today are out there buying, and they're bunkering or stockpiling, hoarding, whatever we want to call it. And it's like, man, are you going to hang on to that for 40 years and then sell it to somebody sometime in the future because you don't care anymore? Like, man, like, that's a little part of me sad, man. Like, this guy sat on some crazy whiskey and never had it. Or maybe he had a shit ton of it and he just was tired of it. Who knows?
Yeah, the guy basically was telling me that he was an entertainer back in New Jersey in the 70s. And so he never wanted to have a single bottle in his house not be ready for someone. So he didn't want anyone to ever come over and go, do you have a this? Do you have a that? So he had everything. Well, to buy that everything for his home bar, he would go to liquor stores. When he was in liquor stores, the decanters caught his eye. He never touched American whiskey. He never touched bourbon in his life. This was an oopsie and an accident that these are full of whiskey. He actually bought the empty ones from like Jim Beam and Ezra Brooks and McCormick, because he was a true collector of the decanters. Didn't care about the whiskey at all. So the fact that these survived beyond that, and that he cared for them, even though he didn't give a crap about the juice that was inside, totally takes this to
it's super cool, man. There's, like I said, like, this is a reminder that if you're out there and you're a whiskey collector, don't wait to try it, because if it's an investment for you, you need to sell while the market's hot. Ask any baseball collector what their baseball card collection's worth today. It's worth shit. Right? 20 years ago, 20 years ago, peak of the market, people were selling cards for thousands of dollars. Ken Griffey Jr. rookies, right? Like, those were money, and now you can get them for $1. At some point, whiskey's going to do the same thing.
I'll open these for sure. That's the whole point of doing this. But just while you bring that up, same thing. My dad had a Roger Clemens rookie card that he got signed at a spring training game way a long time ago. Paulie was worth a lot of money before he was wrapped up in the PED steroid era. Sell while it's hot. Same thing with this guy. I have the emails behind me. The dude tried hard to sell these in 2003. I have his old emails. The guy kept meticulous notes. He tried to sell these in 2003, and the actual emails came back to him. Amazing collection. Number one, it's a shame there's still whiskey in these decanters, because now we can't appraise them because you can't ship them to us. Number two, no one be interested in a collection this large. The bubble has already popped. That is a decanter bubble from 2003. Okay? Yeah. Don't people realize they could be just on the verge of a bourbon bubble right now, and all your bunkered Elmer T. Lee is going to be worth the same $36 that it was 8 years ago when I was walking past it? You're this close, man. You're this close.
I wouldn't buy it at $29 for Elmer, and now
I
it's
told
like,
you, man. You have the same taste. I hate it.
Yeah, and now if it was like $100, I'm like, well, maybe I should get it because somebody will want it. But yeah, like like I think you're right. I think that it's kind of incredible, that when he was trying to sell the whiskey boom had not taken off yet.
Nope.
It was depressed still. And you were still a good 4 or 5 years away from even the beginning of the Renaissance for bourbon.
Yes, sir.
Like you didn't have whiskey bars. Like you had bars, but you did not have whiskey bars.
Yeah.
And now it's like if you were to dump these out onto a market, like these are money.
Yeah.
Because not just what's in them, but the nostalgia of it. Like they're sealed, they're untouched. Even if people never opened those, that right there is the kind of stuff that collectors get crazy about.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Somebody reached out to me through here, and they said there's a guy on YouTube called Real Good Whiskey, and he had a video posted that I guess it's a distributor or something like that, and he has one of these completely immaculate, and even he's saying that this is the time. If you're looking to get into this is the time, because there's still so much we don't know about these old decanters. There's still so much we don't know about when things traded hands. We don't know if this guy was still alive. Like technically, the patriarch of the Van Winkle family could have still been alive when this was distilled, technically.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know that for sure. I do know I'm getting ready to open it because it's a special occasion, which is the whole reason this was even minted.
Yeah.
It was to commemorate an occasion that happened before I was born. So, can I do it?
Hey man, this is your show, man. Crack it and smack it, man.
All right. So I'm going to say this. This one, using the old feel test, this one feels heavier. The Old Fitzgerald feels heavier. So with the premise that we'll end on a good note, I'm going to do that one last.
Okay.
I'm not saying this is going to be like this. Just I know you can't tell, but that this feels so heavy. This doesn't feel as heavy. But you know what? I don't know when's the next time I'll ever see one of these. I don't know when people who are watching this will ever see this get opened again. So let's do it.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, man.
Man, I'm nervous for you.
I feel the same way. No matter what I want to do with this, if it's not open, I can't do anything with it.
Oh, I know, but this is like, oh my God! Like, please be good. Please be good.
All right, so we're gonna start with the Old Rip Van Winkle 7-year from 1975. This would have been distilled in 1968. God. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens, man.
Oh,
cheers, buddy.
God.
All right. Well, we're going to be pushing some corks in.
Okay. Yep. It sounded like it.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. If I can already smell it, it may not be the best sign, but let's just do it.
What are you smelling right now through the busted cork? Right. What are you smelling?
First of all, the fact that I can smell anything is not the greatest sign. That's not the best sign. Okay.
Sounds like a leaky cork. Yep.
Could be. It smells. If there's anybody who has had Dusty Turkey, 70s, 80s Dusty Turkey, imagine that funk, but sweeter. It smells a little sweeter, which I guess it kind of should, 101 proof versus 86 proof. All right, let's just do it.
Are you going to corkscrew it or push it in?
Oh, I'm not very fancy, sir. I think I'm just going to push this in. I'm just going to go ahead and push it in and just see what happens.
Oh, my God.
All right,
this is amazing.
Old Rip Van Winkle. Here we go.
Well, Mo Van Winkle showed up at the right time.
Right. Here we go. Hopefully it's at least secure. Just hope it gives me a little bit of resistance.
Oh, come on, please. Well, this could be good.
Yeah. As easy as I thought.
If an alien pops out and eats your face,
done.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, hey, you got it on video. Make sure you save this to your camera roll. All right, we've got our strainer. I always feel like I'm up against the clock now because that's the first time it's touched air in however many years.
Like what? How old again?
This is 75, distilled in 68.
Oh.
Oh man, wait a minute.
Looks good.
Wait a minute.
Come on, baby. Please be great.
This is
1975.
I've seen gender reveal videos on YouTube that don't have this much anticipation.
Oh my God, we're all dying right now.
Okay.
Oh my God. Please don't be cloudy. Please don't be cloudy.
I don't know.
It doesn't look cloudy.
Give it the old double shake here.
Oh, baby, come on.
How much is it? 600. Okay. So we've got, first off, we've got a little bit of cork.
That's not a lot of cork.
Mikey. Let's
what?
see. A little cloudy. But it does smell like you left a glass of really nice whiskey out overnight. You come back in the morning, you pick it up. It's got a lot of that caramel. You got a lot of the sweetness still. It smells like cork, so probably not the greatest, but whatever, man.
Here it is. You're about to taste some history anyway. Oh,
cheers.
Cheers, brother. Oh.
Yeah, if I fall over out of this chair while I'm talking to you, just save the video, do the camera roll.
No worries.
Super sweet, crazy, crazy sweet. Again, leaving your glass out overnight, coming back in the morning is the first thing I think of. You know, it may just be at the 86 proof. I don't think it's bad at all.
Yes!
I don't think it's bad at all.
Yes!
This is not, I mean, it's got some of the burn. It's got, I really want to get this into another bottle, like, immediately. I feel like my small child is exposed to the elements. Like, get away.
It's winter, damn it. It's winter.
I protected you for so long.
Oh, my God.
All right. Time to put this into.
Yeah, bottle it, man. Bottle it up.
I feel like we're losing like a year. Like this is
yeah, the Angels already got their part. They can piss off.
I feel like this is like Princess Bride, and I'm taking years off of his life very slowly with every marriage.
Oh man,
we're gonna give it one more strain, see what happens. Maybe this strainer's got some magic in it. Maybe this old Blanton's bottle will save us.
Look, if you didn't turn your face inside out like drinking that and it tasted good, that's amazing.
Yeah. You know, I'm not dead yet.
That's great.
I'm not dead yet. Tastes a little bit like wet cork, a little bit like history, and a little bit like, you know what, I'm not that disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I mean, I had that bad turkey that was, where's the topper of the Blantons? All right. So this is how it ended up looking.
Nice.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
The turkey was way, way worse than this.
Yep.
Way, way worse. Rob, yeah, it's definitely, it smells sweet, and it's a little cloudy. But again, if I hadn't dumped out that really spoiled turkey, that was, you saw, Mikey, that was crazy cloudy. This is not bad. I'm totally fine putting a nice little sticker over here that says 1975 Old Rip Van Winkle.
Man, just get a heat gun and burn off that Blanton sticker.
Yeah, right. So again, anybody who may have just joined, this is from 1975 to 2020.
Damn.
It had a pretty badass run.
45 years.
Yes, sir. So here's what I couldn't really show you before, but if you see there,
yep,
right around here, you know. So I was getting a little bit of that smell, but it wasn't like wide open. You know, it was not wide open. You know, honestly, man, who'd be upset to have that on their bar still?
I wouldn't. If I found an empty one of those at a Goodwill or something like that, I'm buying 100%. There's no doubt. Oh, that's great.
Genuine Cumberland porcelain. Old Rip Van Winkle from this is the New Jersey commemorative one.
Damn.
Dust is still all over this. Man, you know, this is not just a good poker face. I could have been way more disappointed. I'm truthfully not that upset.
I'm delighted. I'm delighted that it's drinkable. Like that's freaking great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Damn, dude. Yeah.
We'll take a 5-minute commercial break and come back after a word from our sponsors.
Oh my God, that's great. You know, it's funny because you have a pretty cool like decanter collection going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I only have one decanter. It's empty. It's not nearly as impressive as the ones you have. But it's the one I have the Jim Beam payphone.
Yes, with the old style speaker.
Yeah, with the rotary and all that. Yep. Like I just a buddy of mine got that for me, and I just absolutely love it. And I decided a long time ago I was not going to do a decanter collection, but I had to have that one because I'm a Beam guy, and and it's just so cool.
So, did I not tell you how many Beams I now own?
No.
And I'm not talking about, nothing against them, but I'm not talking about the ones we see still kind of like the cabinet. I'm talking about, I think I now own 2 of the one you just talked about, those phones. One of them might be full, and it was stored in Tupperware in pieces. And it all comes together to, you know, stand up straight and face you. It's a big girthy bastard.
Yeah, I love it. Let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll ignore that sound. That's floor bourbon crashing into each other.
I'm familiar with the floor bourbon. Oh man. Don't have that.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Like,
yeah. This is what I'm saying for people.
Well, it used to actually spin around.
That's amazing. Think of how much work they had to do to get us to buy Jim Beam.
Yeah, like a lot.
Like a lot of work.
Yeah, like this phone comes off. Like, who fucking does this?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like it's got the little decanters actually in the back. The TTB's off. Like it's still kind of there, but the bourbon's out. But yeah, this comes out. And the crazy thing is, the decanter itself, I don't know if you can actually remove it or if you have to pour it like this.
Could you imagine? Oh, would you like another?
Yeah, it's like let me bust out this giant ass telephone and just pour you a glass of shitty whiskey.
Yeah, just imagine you have like a butler and you're like, refill please, and the butler's like, another pour. This sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also thought about, so this is not like wallpaper. That is a Pancho Villa.
Nice.
And I'm like, I'd never have heard of that one, but it's in the same format of a Thomas Jefferson and a Ulysses S. Grant. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, all bourbon. No, tequila. Tequila. Never have seen a tequila decanter. It looks exactly like the other ones. And again, they had to work hard to move anything other than the spirits of the 70s and 80s that people actually wanted. You know, we went back to beer a little bit. We got into the fancier mixed cocktails. Straight hard liquor didn't appeal to anybody but our parents and grandparents, and they weren't going to bars.
Right, and they were highballing it anyway.
Right.
So it was like, you know, okay, maybe you made a 100 proof whiskey, but they were cutting it to 70 with all the water they were putting into it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this rabbit hole keeps just blowing me away, and I would happily talk about this with you for as long as you like, but I do also have this one. Knock on wood. If they're both crappy, then we're going to cut to a quick intermission as I curse every curse word I know, and some of them I will just make up on the spot. Okay. We're just going to do it.
Just go all in, man. Let it rip. If it's garbage, just let it fly,
just
man.
Take it, put it over my mouth.
This is an adult show anyway.
Right. I will say again, I think it was Rob Porter may have mentioned it. It continues to smell crazy sweet. Off the nose alone, my wife is with me. She's just as big of a whiskey fan as me. So
I mean, come on. Like she's got to have some of this. It's only been in a bottle for 40 plus years.
Yeah. You won't find this one at a Buffalo Wild Wings.
No.
While she's giving me professional tasting notes, I'm going to drink something that I know won't tell me to get another sip of my blends.
So he's drinking Blanton's, as he's drinking really old shit. I'm drinking merely old stuff that's new to me.
That's beautiful, though. That's such a good bottle, though.
It really is. Like I had a little bit of a discussion with SoCal Tomato guy who absolutely hates paying more than what MSRP is, and we had a little discussion about MSRP and all that. Look, man, I don't like spending what I spend on this stuff either, but I'd sure prefer to spend this amount than 4 times more if it was lower priced and it was flippable. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, for sure.
So it's a tough thing. Like, do I wish it was 150? Sure.
Yeah.
But if it was 150, they'd be selling it for 7.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you can actually enjoy it and appreciate it, either you're a fan of the brand, you're a fan of a specific style. I love what you say about go to bars and try it first, or come to someone's house like yours and mine. Let us save you that money. We've already spent it. Don't go to some fancy, high-end bar that's going to charge you $20 for a Weller Special Reserve.
Right.
I've got way better here, and you're sharing it with me. It's the whole reason I'm doing this stuff.
Yeah, I can send you a bottle of Weller Special for $25 shipped. It's like, don't. Like, that's the thing is, like, I love Forever on Whiskey said, this year samples, not bottles. Which is actually a really smart thing. As I look around and go, holy shit, look at all this stuff. Like a lot of the new stuff coming out, like trading samples is the way to go, unless it's something you really, really love. Like I sent Will, bonded in bottles. They sent him some Cornerstone. It's like, man, look, he could go spend $170 to $200 for a bottle. He doesn't even know if he's going to like it.
Yep.
He could go to a bar and spend $30.
Yeah.
And still not, and even then he's out 30. Or I could send him a sample.
Yeah.
And it's like, try it. And then if he loves it and he wants to go spend $170, great. But at least he knows, and it's an educated.
Try this must.
Yeah. So I think the educated decisions for 2020 are better than just buy everything and try it. Like, when you started, like, we didn't have sample trades. Right? You had to know somebody to try the stuff, and it's like, fuck. I wish I could go back.
That's what opened my eyes too, is the people who share this stuff, and like I said last time, they share pours that I've never even had a chance to own. And when I was pouring some of these, they're like, "That's it. Take more. You're never going to have this again. I know you're never going to have this again. Try it, enjoy it, like it, because I'm sharing that with you. You're in my house. I'm asking you. Don't insult me by taking."
Right.
Image. So,
like I will say this, and I will say this until I'm blue in the face. If you come over to my place, if you're in New Orleans and you come over to my place, everything up on that wall is open for drinking, and if it's not open, we're gonna open it.
Yeah.
Like that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Like what am I gonna do with it? I can't take it with me. And I'm sure as shit not going to sell it to you in 40 years.
No. Man, it's so funny. Just I think 2018, 2019, they got us, right?
Yeah.
They got us. They know they got us. They had us here. Fancier labels, re-releases, A statements taken off, but we're just going to do something a little. Okay, you got us, but you're going to get us one time, and we're going to learn that lesson.
That's right.
We're going to learn that lesson. And that's what keeps me going back to looking for decanters and some of these older collectors. The bourbon was actually markedly better. It's not just trying to be a hipster and be nostalgic and talk about a band. Oh, I saw them down at the local club for $3 way before they were over on, the radio. It's not that. This is better whiskey than we've ever had that would never been made in the last 10 plus years. So that's one of the reasons we chased it, and I'm happy to carry that on. Yeah,
like there's great stuff, and it's funny, like because we were talking about baseball cards earlier.
Yeah,
there was a time where back when the Griffey Jr. card was worth pushing $800-900 a card, right?
Jeez.
But for $800-900 a card, you could go back and get entire sets of vintage, like cards, right, from the 50s and 60s. And you look now what people are paying for modern releases, what they're paying for the Pappy Van Winkles. It's like, do you know what $1,200 would get you in the Dusty market? Like, you could stack up on some really great stuff.
Yeah.
That nobody's had. You could find Stitzel Weller stuff that doesn't cost the $1,200, and you can get a couple of bottles probably too.
Yeah, again, that's the whole reason I got into these, is because I love the Dusty Wild Turkey. And every Dusty Wild Turkey around my birth year in the 80s, I know what that's going to set me back for a bottle. Perfectly mint, perfectly intact. I know what I'm going to get. I'll take a gamble for a decanter I find at a yard sale for $15 if the off chance is that the bourbon is as good as, I'll bring it out again, but the one we looked at last time, it was amazing. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know, it's a deal. It's a deal for some of the better bourbon that people have ever had.
Or never had.
Or never had. True. Which is
like they don't know what they're missing. So you want to, before you do anything else, two things. I'd love to know what your wife's tasting notes were. That's one. She doesn't have to be on camera if she doesn't want to, but I would love to hear what she thinks of that. And then show everybody the bottle again. Yes, sir.
So I'll do a reenactment of her impression. She literally goes, "Wet cork, wet cork." That's yeah. So as soon as it hits the air, it really does start to turn quick. I did this with my 89. Of the 89 I shared with some friends. We were all imbibing different things, and we were in Louisville doing a little bourbon 30, Derby 30. And people left the whiskey in their glass. We went out the front yard. We took pictures, and we were just calling friends and whatever, taking selfies, all stupid stuff that we do. We came back in, and the whiskey had totally separated. And that's when I learned, when you crack these Dusties and they haven't touched oxygen for 30-plus years, that clock is really, really ticking. They did not intently chill filter. The filtration wasn't fantastic as it was. I'm telling you, this is what the whiskey looks like. You know,
wow, it hasn't been that long either.
It hasn't been that long. Not saying it looked fantastic when it came out of the Segway, the 1976 Old Rip Van Winkle decanter. Again, this was the cork, so I may have been in for a bad time when I pulled that. The cork is a little wet and a little dirty. You can see the lines from where air was able to seep in over 40 some odd years. But man, if you could bottle that aroma as a cologne, you know, put a little here, you know, put a little there, and wear it out in the street, you know, maybe a grandfather might go, "Someone spill old granddad around here?"
If you could put that into a candle, you'd make money.
Oh, no freaking doubt.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then for anyone who did not see, this was the end result. So one thing that worked against us, number one, was these seals aren't the greatest. Number two is the proof. This was not Wild Turkey 101, you know, where we have a little bit of proof to help us with oxidation. This was already 86 proof. But man,
look, I'm not gonna lie, man. I would drink that whole thing. Not all at once, but I would drink it 100%.
Yeah. All right, so here's our saving grace, with your permission, so I don't have to do it myself. Let's just do this and get it over with. Okay.
Thoughts and prayers. Here we go.
More thoughts, more prayers.
Oh, here we go.
Right, so this one's a big old girthy bitch. This is your Old Fitzgerald 86 proof. 86 proof, distilled, aged, and bottled, DSP KY 16, the Old Fitzgerald distillery.
Oh.
Yep. I don't think I have a lot of karma left in the world, but if we can combine all of the karma I've collectively earned in my life, maybe it goes right here.
Come on, baby. Please bring it home right here.
Okay, so let's see what happens. Can everybody at home please collectively cross all the digits that you have?
Please. Yeah, positive thoughts right now.
There's the tax strip.
History again right here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Work with me. I'm getting some resistance.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Okay, so though it broke, I want to show you the difference, okay? I want to show you the difference here. There's absolutely no... See, it's like crystal. It's beautiful.
Sweet.
And I don't think I really smell much, but here's a completely dry cork.
Nice.
It feels good. This is for comparison.
Yeah, the other one got air in there.
And in the event, I'm now allowing air while I unnecessarily explain things you already know.
Yep. Was there a cork washer on there too?
Yes, there was actually a cork washer on there.
Interesting. All right.
Yep. I like this one too. It looks like a chess piece crown.
It's beautiful.
No fancy corkscrew. I'm just shoving it in. I'm shoving it. One man's journey through a bourbon decanter.
Come on.
I feel like this could end badly.
I feel like we should have the Hobbit theme song playing.
Yeah. Can someone play any background music at all so I don't hear my heart thumping in my throat?
Oh, God.
Oh! All right. That's the sound I wanted. That's what I hear with good turkey. Positive vibes. Ready?
So it popped good.
It popped. A nice, solid air pop. Here we go. You'll never see this again, people. Oh, maybe you will if you do tag me.
I heard background sound effects.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear?
Yes. Yes. All right.
And if you don't have to use the restroom yet, listen to this for about 2 more minutes and you probably will.
I'll drink to that.
This is probably the greatest sound. Come on. I knew this felt beefy. She's not done yet, Captain. Hold on. The old customary 2 shake.
Oh yeah, that's a half a glass right there.
Ready? That.
Yes.
Here, hold the flashlight underneath the glass.
Let me see. I know that looks terrible on camera.
No, it looks awful, but it poured nice.
Better without the light, though.
Looks better without the light, Saint honey. I've heard you say that to me a time or two. Oh, all right, let's do it.
Get a glass and get that into the bottle, man.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. We might have magic.
Oh, we're going to take a pause here. All right.
We might have some magic.
Let's bottle up that magic, though.
See, this is why bourbon was invented, man. This
yes.
is why bourbon was invented. Oh, honey.
Yes.
Can you please give me better tasting notes?
No, this is like a cherry bomb when you smell it.
Cherries, okay. Always a good sign.
Dude, this is amazing. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
This is the best.
Man.
The leather peppermint.
Leather and peppermint, spearmint, okay.
Oh, all kinds of good flavors.
Come on, get me to that neck. Come on. Come on. Look at that. If you can be in this room first, please bring in the package to the front door. But also to smell all of this that I'm smelling right now.
Nick, this is the Fitzgerald.
Yeah, this is the Fitzgerald. And yeah, that's all the cork that was in there. But you know what? I think people would pay $3 just to have me squeeze that cork into their glass.
Man, I'd pay you $10 to stick it up my nose.
If I had $1 every time I heard that. All right, where's the topper for this one? Thank you. All right, so here's.
That's sad right there. The screw cap. Come on, man. No.
I just
no.
Your Stitzel Weller into your old screw cap.
That's unforgivable.
Oh, is it? Look at that.
Oh, it's beautiful. Damn.
Show them the color difference.
Oh yeah, the color difference between. So this is what I just poured. Here's the old Fitzgerald. See, it's already separating. You can kind of see the top layer on there. Oh, God. Jesus. There's your Fitzgerald. there's your Old Rip. And the crazy thing is that the name alone on the Old Rip would have brought in so much more money. They're both Stitzel-Weller, you know, but if you got a bargain deal on the Fitzgerald and you feel like you missed out, you didn't, man. That's why we do this. That's why you actually drink this shit.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man. Look that. This is the best whiskey that's ever been inside an Old Forester bottle. Maybe the bottle in bond of the 60s and 70s, but.
God, that's beautiful. Oh, man.
So what are you doing today, buddy?
Shit. I ain't drinking that. This hurts my head, man. I'm gonna drink some fighting cock later.
Oh man, if I had Rain-X on my head, you could.
Yeah, crying is right. Bourbon and Heart's right. Crying probably. Yeah, it's about right.
No, and so Forever Home, it is fantastic, right? The real shame. Again, no one, like Mikey was talking about, no one knew people were going to hold on to this stuff for 40 plus years. What was working against the Old Rip, one, that decanter did not have a cork washer like the Old Fitz had, and both of these are 86 proof. You know, so even the smallest amount of air in there, even the smallest amount of air was going to totally exacerbate that oxidation. So if you're out there dusty hunting, not that I'm the authority, but I do have more than I should ever have of decanters. Just know when you are looking to buy one, go off of the fill. I said when we watch this again later and we rewatch it, I said this is the more beautiful one. This is the Old Rip. It feels half as light as the Old Fitz. That's working against it because you know oxidation happened, you know evaporation happened, and you're working with 86 proof whiskey. You know, so you can have a Wild Turkey decanter that doesn't feel very full, but if the seal is good, everything looks intact, you're working with 101 proof whiskey. So you can handle a little bit of oxidation. Go for other signs. Just other context clues. I'm talking while this thing is still open like an absolute giant, the biggest dummy. You know, I have decades here. I have dead presidents over here in my ear going, hey, Baldy, you want to just shut the hell up and put the cork back on?
Oh my God.
So I'm not going to do the Michters.
Yeah,
I don't want to do the Michters. That is just so freaking cool. If people haven't seen it, I can't feel my legs yet because I'm still nervous. So I'm not going to stand up. I'll just topple straight over.
I'm impressed. First of all, that you wanted to do this live. Like, I'm super glad you did. Mm-hmm. Because look, like living vicariously, it's a real thing, man. Like, you know, we do pictures, everybody posts pictures of stuff. Yeah, we do stories, and we're all like clinging for that little nugget. You know, like is that gonna pique our FOMO or not? Like something like this, like Vic Whiskey said, it's like this is history. Yep. You know, this is far more, interesting and historical than anything else any of us are drinking today. So. I'm glad that you asked if I would do this with you because, shit, man, this is great. Like I'm super excited about this because this is what it's about.
There's a reason and I'm gonna say chose as if I even have a dog in the fight, but I asked to do it with you because I know number one that you enjoy it, and I don't have anything against influencers. I'm happy that they get what they get out of this. They're much better social media people than me. But if you really ask them about whiskey, there are a lot of influencers who may be very good at helping develop new brands. They might have a great following, and they might get a newer age of people into a distillery that needs that help because they don't have anything more than 4-year-old whiskey or source whiskey, which is not a problem. But people who enjoy this stuff, people who really enjoy this stuff, that's why I asked to do this with you. You got a great platform. You enjoy this stuff. So who else would I do this with?
Well, I appreciate the sentiments and I really do. Like it means a lot.
Yes, sir.
The only reason I got into this hobby, obviously it predates Instagram or whatever, but I love sharing a conversation. I love sharing a drink, and even though I'm not there with you, like. It's like if we were sitting next to each other, at a bar and you were drinking this, I would be just as impressed. This is what I love. Like, I think of some of the the whiskeys that I miss now, like Black Maple Hill, you know, which was one of my favorites, the old Rittenhouse 23 and 25-year-old ryes, you know, like back then, you know, they were just available, you know, and got a chance.
People were walking past them.
Oh yeah.
Like walking past them. They didn't want this. Who the hell is going to pay
$200 for Rittenhouse 23? Nobody wanted to pay that. Nobody did. And it's funny because I could get it at a bar for super cheap. Like super cheap. Like I think I have a receipt somewhere that's got like a Black Maple Hill 18-year-old rye on it for $10.
My God.
You know, so I know, like that's the stupidity. The cool thing is that I know that if I ever got a chance at a time machine, I know exactly what date, what time, and which Bevmo I'd be going to. Because they had the entire Black Maple Hill lineup, 3 deep, all with about a 1/4 inch of dust. They had all the Pappy Van Winkles lined up,
man,
with the velvet sacks with a 1/4 inch of dust on it, and nobody was buying them. Like nobody wanted those. So, you know, I miss a lot of those things, and I'm not here to be like, oh, old man story, the good old days. You kids don't know. It's not that. There's great whiskey today.
Yeah,
but there was something about like KBD. There was something about Stitzel-Weller. There was something about those old distilleries. I mean, I think Jimmy Russell said it's not that the whiskey is better or worse. It was older. You know, and it's a different flavor. It is a very different flavor.
Yeah,
like
well,
that's, you know, that's the fact.
Here's one thing I can say, and I don't know if I should leave this here so people who join know what we're talking about and drinking, but I do feel weird with them. Like, let's take an example. All right, this is an example that hopefully will bring it home for maybe people who are kind of just getting into it, but they go to Total Wine and they see that glass shelf. Here's one reason why I do this. So the newest Whistle Pig, the Samurai, or any of the Whistle Pig Boss Hog editions, really fantastic, truthfully unique. What they do, very, very good. $499 is the new retail price. It was $399. So $399, $400. For $400, if you truly appreciated older whiskey, really good whiskey, you can still to this day get like an old Granddad 114 from like the 80s. National Distiller Gold. One of the best things I've ever drank. And by having that, and now knowing that that's how much it costs if I wanted one today, and knowing how hard it is to get $400 together, okay, why would I go get that Whistle Pig? If I'm going to spend that money, why don't I get one shipped to my door? Why don't I get an old Granddad 114 from National Distillers? Again, 114 proof, National Distillers Gold, liquid gold. Or spend the same money on a relatively newer distillery that is sourcing their product and finishing in really cool ways. That's when my brain totally switched. That's when my brain completely and totally switched. It's money.
Yeah.
Money and taste.
And that's like the reality. Like I think even Bourbon and Tide today posted a picture of old Overholt that was 15 years old, distilled in 1914, and like it was bottled in 1929. And that's a legendary rye whiskey. And it's like, it's just, I don't even know what the guy paid for it or whatnot, but like when you think of like some of those legendary whiskeys, I think, and I keep going back to like Pappy, it's like, man, like, would you spend $1,200 on a 15-year Pappy Van Winkle and what you could get, right? What you could get, because got to remember that the Pappy Van Winkle today is all Buffalo Trace. You know, it's not that old stuff, you know, and I'm not saying it's not good, but God, like the stuff you could get for that kind of money, just, it blows me away that people would spend that on current releases.
Yeah. I think if you put some of these together and did them blind, on the nose, you would know it was a Dusty. On the taste, you would know it was a Dusty. On the finish, you would know it's a Dusty. Is that because it's been contaminated? Let's just say it was a bottle, a brand new bottle. You cracked it. It's an 80s Wild Turkey. There is not a similar currently produced comparable. You know, it would stick out so much over. Listen, I like Blandons. I would never going to pay more than retail for it, right? But even that, it doesn't last long. It's not really viscous. Doesn't have fantastic finish. But it's a better product that Buffalo Trace makes. The best product Buffalo Trace makes doesn't hold a candle to some of this older stuff. And, I'm not going to do it tonight because we've already done 2, but up there are the stuff with nighters, right? But wait, these old clowns, looking at it, these old clowns distilled in Owensboro would have made that old medley. People have paid a ton of money for bottles where the old medley is the distillate. What you have to imagine is putting them in Freaky Clowns is the only way they could get people to buy them. Freaky, nightmare-inducing clowns are the only way that medley could get people to buy their fantastic whiskey.
And were they trying to get people to buy it, or were they trying to get people not to buy it? That's the question. Or are they trying to keep their kids out of the bottle?
That's right. That's right. You can take my Seagrams. Okay, you can take my Seagrams.
Right.
You're not going to touch that.
No, because you'll be no.
Mommy, I had bad dreams again. You touched my whiskey, didn't you, you bastard? I know you did.
So you see this bottle over here? Let me show you the movie Poltergeist real quick, and then tell me if you want to ever crack this open. You let me know.
Smart. I mean, the whole era behind it, the whole reason they put these decanters together. You had marketing teams put together that say, all right, what kind of porcelain figurine can we make just to move these barrels that are sitting here just getting older?
Yep.
Every year they're getting older. Every year we're getting past that sweet spot. You could have had 12-year-old Wild Turkey and the 8-year Wild Turkey because maybe it took them 2 or 3 years to design and get all those ceramics back to the States, clean them, fill them, cork them, and then distribute them. They were up against the clock. All these barrels were aging, and either I put it in a liquor store behind 17 other bottles of Wild Turkey, or I make a collectible series numbered 1 through 12, and grandmas will buy them because they look nice on the mantle.
Right.
At least someone's buying our whiskey.
Yep, that's true. I mean, I think that's what kept old like Ezra Brooks or whatever in business for as long as they were, because they seem to be one of the most prolific of the decanterings. Like, I mean, they have something for everything.
Yeah.
Like every city had one. Like they had sporting events, college football, like everything. Like you walk into any Goodwill and you look and find decanters, it's gonna be that.
Yep.
Not great whiskey either. Not great whiskey then at all.
No, definitely not. And that's part of the lineage that you trace these. If you look back, oh my God, what do I have here? Beyond this decanter and this cork and this creepy clown is medley whiskey. Or man, these decanters are really awesome, but inside is freaking Stitzel Weller. That's the, I don't know what's inside this one. This was Stitzel Weller. Then it got beat up in a courtyard and junkyard and kicked in the dingle with a cork. But this one was Stitzel Weller, beautiful goodness. So
that's pretty great.
Man, this was super fun.
This was amazing. I had a blast.
Yeah. All right, well, let's do it again. I'm going to have an assload more of these. I'll try to have some cooler ones for you.
Cooler than those? Come on.
No. These. I started at the top.
There's no way.
Well, I've got the smaller beam cars everyone's probably kind of seen. I've got really big beam cars. I've got Pancho Villa on a horse tequila decanter. I've got the clowns. Obviously, I've got the clowns. A lot. You know what? A lot of bicentennial ones. Early times bicentennial bottled in bond. Fleischmann, which was a distillery I wasn't really familiar with, but they made really cool Liberty Bells. They made Eagles. Anything to get someone to, as they're getting their old granddad in the liquor store, to go, you know what? I'll pay 3 times this bottle of old granddad for, an Eagle, because I know Mama likes it and she won't know it's whiskey. So.
Anytime you want to crack one open, you let me know. We'll do this again live, because you obviously I love this shit. Like this is so cool.
Yes, sir.
Even like I said, even though I'm not sitting there tasting it, like none of us are. The fact is, we get to actually see this happen. Like, you might see a decanter somewhere and somebody's like, "Oh, look what I got," but you don't ever get to see them crack it and open it, and put it in a glass and take a drink. Yeah. I think of the old ABC Wide World of Sports right now, the thrill of victory. We're going to was an abrupt ending there. So we're gonna give him one more chance here to come in and say good, finish us off, and see what we can do next time. Feel like that was an abrupt ending, so that's no way to end that.
I'm like,
we hit the 1 hour.
That was a really, you know what? That one decanter was shit. You're out of here. All right, only get your stuff together, Steve. Next time, you better bring your A game. You're out of here.
It was the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. Good night.
Right. The biggest bookend ever. You're freaking out of here, Dave. We don't need you anymore.
It was like that was it. Just done.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we got the good one. This is what it looked like. It's beautiful. It's what I always wanted to be when I grew up and become whiskey. Not as good, but I'll get one of these out your way, Mikey, to try it.
Oh yeah, I promise you, oxidized or not, I will drink the shit out of that.
Yeah. Right. If you get a little woozy and lightheaded, you went out with a bang, buddy. You've earned it.
100%.
Thanks for having me again. This was awesome.
Hell yeah, brother. We'll do this again soon. Just hit me up. Let me know when you want to crack another one. Look, you're under no obligation to always open up decanters, by the way. We can still talk whiskey.
Wait, I can do other stuff besides 44-year-old whiskey with you?
Yes. Yes, you totally can.
All right. So for next week's episode, you and me, big level. It's a date.
All right, man. I'll catch you again soon, all right?
All right,
everybody, I got to go. I got to go spend some time with the girl. She's always super patient and sharing time with everybody in the community. So, guys, I'll see you guys Sunday night for Sunday Night Fights. We're going to have some fun. Not with decanter whiskey. It's certainly not as old, but we're going to have a good time Sunday night. So thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope you guys got to enjoy watching some pretty epic historical bottles being cracked open. I'm sorry I could not partake, but that's what the community's for, is to come in and share what they got. So thanks again, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Cheers to you.
Cheers, buddy.
You have a good one, all right?
See ya.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.